Your agriculture department also announced this week that they are going to start limiting Chinese ownership of American farmland. Why do you think that the Chinese have been buying up all this farmland in our country so close to military installations?
Well, I don't want to get into that. I have a very good relationship with President Xi. We're going to see, and I'm going to, they're going to be making a recommendation to me, but we have a very good relationship. As you know, they're paying a lot of tariffs to the United States now, so I'm not going to get into that right now.
And currently,
who cares about
justice they ever.
The greatest, refreshingly.
Who have joined us for this historic rollout to address one of the most significant national security threats facing our nation.
I want to know who owns the land around our bases and strategic bases, and getting an understanding of why foreign entities, foreign companies, foreign individuals might be buying up land around those bases.
That's the most obvious. I mean, how did we let that happen? How did we let that happen? So the more land they acquire here, the more control they have. I mean, we're the United States, but they treat us like a colony.
Today, we tell China to get the hell out of American agriculture. Here's your ticket. Do not pass go. Get the hell out of American agriculture.
This is just China-owned. This is not other countries of concern owned, such as North Korea, Russia, Iran, and others. You can see that a lot of those, the red blocks, are actual military bases. And ultimately, when we're talking about national security, that is, I think, the number one concern.
But this is so serious an issue. We are indeed in a new world where kinetic warfare is not the first choice of our rivals anymore. Acquiring our supply chain in agriculture. It's setting up spy shops on land next to military bases. We seem so naive.
American agriculture is not just about feeding our families, but about protecting our nation and standing up to foreign adversaries who are buying our farmland, stealing our research, and creating dangerous vulnerabilities in the very systems that sustain us. Actively engaging at every level of government to take swift legislative and executive action to ban the purchase of American farmland by Chinese nationals and other foreign adversaries, including presidential authorities to claw back what has already been purchased by China and other foreign adversaries.
It's about America first, but it's also just the application of common sense. No longer can foreign adversaries assume we're not watching and we're not paying attention and we're not doing something about it because we are.
We charged 2 Chinese nationals for attempting to smuggle potential agro-terrorism weapons into the United States. Both of them have ties to the CCP. Just days later, we arrested another Chinese citizen for sending packages of concealed biological materials into the United States. It's going to stop.
Do you remember when they arrested the Chinese spies on the Iowa farmland? Y'all remember that? Well, if they're owning the farmland, they have access to all of they're going to get the seeds that way too. China consumes 50% of the pork in the world. Did you know this?
If you could imagine a COVID-like virus made in a laboratory in Wuhan, China, that could infect all the hogs of the world, but you had an mRNA vaccine that could protect your own hogs, what would that do to our world's food supply? I think that's the biggest active threat that I see is bioterrorism.
That a lot of people said, well, look at the red states are the ones leading the way. The red states are the ones that are banning the Chinese-owned farmland, and this is true. But I have to believe that even the Democrat governors and even the blue states realize what a massive threat this is to national security.
Still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking...
Has President Trump talk to you about this group.
I don't want to get ahead of the president, so I won't answer that. But there is no doubt that he, our cabinet, our administration, our friends across the country are acutely aware of this issue and doing everything we can to solve for it. But obviously, the Chinese owning of farmland in our country is a massive national security issue. And you can see the yellow is where all of the farms have been purchased over the last number of years. And the red is around all of the military bases where that farmland has been purchased. It isn't just about protecting our farmers, it's also about national security. So that's what we discussed this morning.
I do want to say that I think we have had a really good relationship with China lately. We're getting along with them very well. They've been very fair on our trade deal, honestly. I understand what you're saying, but I think we're getting along with China very well.
美方泛化国家安全概念，剥夺特定国家机构和公民购买土地和房产的权利，是典型的歧视性做法，违背市场经济原则和国际经贸规则，最终也将损害美国自身的利益。我们敦促美方立即停止将经贸投资问题政治化。
And I'm not happy with Putin. We get a lot of bullshit thrown at us by Putin, but you want to know the truth. He's very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless.
Is there anything that you plan to do to act on that feeling of unhappiness?
I wasn't telling you. Don't we want to have a little surprise here?
The chairman keeps saying that tariffs are going to cause price increases.
Are
the prices just not
chairman of the Fed?
Yes, exactly.
You do a better job than him.
Thank you. Are the prices just not passed through yet?
No, I think what's happening is everything's evening out. Good relationship with China lately, and we're getting along with them very well.
And released yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, less of lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for an American or foreign intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the set?
Yeah, sure. If I could.
Could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. We have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about. Gets it. You know, the public gets it. You've seen the polls.
Punched me in the face, and he did. Turns out even a 5-year-old punched me in the face.
That was X that did?
Yeah.
X, you know. If you knew X.
That's what his mom heard.
And the media has to straighten out their act. You know, the media's down to 17% approval. You got to do a little better than that. It's important for the country that you do better. I think they ought to make a lot of changes. I think changes are going to be made to the media, but it's hard to have a really successful country if you have a corrupt media, and we really have a corrupt media.
He's now saying he's going to create a third political party. Are you worried about the impact that could have?
No, I think it'll help us. It'll probably help. Third parties have always been good for me. I don't know about Republicans, but for me. We are talking to them. I just want you to know, a letter means a deal.
O negacionismo e
Beautiful. He said, what clock? I said, well, if they're a member of BRICS, they're going to have to pay 10% tariff. Just for that one thing. BRICS was set up to hurt us. BRICS was set up to degenerate our dollar and take our dollar as the standard, take it off as the standard. And that's okay if they want to play that game, but I can play that game too. And if we lost the world standard dollar, that would be like losing a war, a major world war. We're not going to let that happen. The dollar, you ever hear the expression, dollar is king? The dollar is king. We're going to keep it that way, okay? I'm just saying if people want to challenge it, they can, but they're going to have to pay a big price. And I don't think any of them are willing to pay that. I always use the word great. I add that to it. Is it really? Then we stayed there. It's okay, we rebuilt it and we stayed there. Rebuilt South Korea and we stayed there. It's okay, we rebuilt it and we stayed there. And they pay us very little for the military. I got them to pay billions of dollars and Biden then canceled it when he came in. You know, I sent to South Korea as an example. You know, we give you free military essentially, very little. And I think you should pay us $10 billion a year. And they went crazy. But they agreed to 3. So I got 3 with a phone call. And I was satisfied. I said, but next year we have to talk. And then we had a rigged election and we never got to talk. And you know what Biden did? They probably went to him and they said, listen, Trump treated us terribly and we shouldn't be paying anything. And he cut it down to nothing. So that's what happens. It's ridiculous. So we're talking, in a very nice way, we're talking to them about it. It's very unfair. We supply the militaries to many very successful countries. I mean, South Korea is making a lot of money, and they're very good. They're very good, but you know, they should be paying for their own military. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.